Hey guys, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. As you can see, I'm still in my little not completely ideal setup. This way that I'm sitting, I feel like the camera's a mile away. I don't have a good place for a mirror to sit. Like, I know that's partially showing here. I got a light like clipped on over here. Thank you to those who have been complimentary about the setup. I'm glad you enjoy it. If it's making me look extra good, it's because my camera's much more forgiving on my phone than my actual like studio type of camera is. But in this video, I really wanted to focus on the eyes. Something I feel like I've seen quite a bit where, first off, it's not a very shadow focused look, but it's like the wing is kind of coming from below. And I just kind of wanted to play with that idea a little bit. And then I thought, well, maybe just do the complexion on camera too. Why not? So yeah, I'm getting out my Neutrogena Healthy Skin today. Yes, this is in the shade Buff. I do love this product, but I hadn't used it in a bit, so I thought today's the day. No pump with this. That's when you know you're using a classic. Oh, and Rosie needs to get into the girls' room the moment I start talking. Blending this in with my beauty blender, I do really have to pull in a different mirror because, like I said, my camera feels like it's fairly far from me. Oh, Neutrogena Healthy Skin is so good. It's just like that perfect natural skin-like kind of foundation. Like the outcome you get from House Labs, but a little less coverage than that. I think I talk about it every spring, but spring's not my favorite season. I mean, I'm happy for the animals. I'm glad they can relax and not be freezing cold. And I like birds chirping. I like grass getting greener. I like leaves growing on trees. But what I do not like is severe weather. And guess who's, as of now, as of Thursday morning, guess who's bullseyed for it on Friday? Yep, that would be me. I'm sorry, just not a fan. But we went from pretty fun snowstorms to tornadoes. I don't do tornadoes. In the spirit of products that haven't been used in a while, how about the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum? You really don't need a ton of this, just a little pump. And I'm going to dab this around my under eye and anywhere else that I need it. It has been really nice getting to just get outside, spend some time in the sandbox. You know, I like those elements of spring. I'm kind of getting back into sponge mode. See, I'm using this Real Techniques sponge and I'm liking it. I felt like the dots were kind of already sort of big and taking up some room, so I didn't think I needed to pre-blend them before going in with the sponge. I think the addition of this little light here might be, I don't know, helping things look a little bit more realistic on my phone camera. What a lot of people like about this is that it's thin, but it does cover quite well. Next up, I'm going to powder, and I realized my puff is behind my phone, so we'll just do that. I'm using Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent powder. I do have a new camera setup ordered. I just couldn't believe the whole thing just went out on me. So I'm just using my little puff to pack this in. It's a little powder because, you know, we like to be set. And then I take my Morphe under eye bullet brush, blend it about. Not looking quite so dewy now, but I like this level of coverage. And then maybe just a little light setting powder elsewhere. I'm pulling in my e.l.f. I've really been enjoying this Halo Glow Powder Filter Pressed Powder. Light neutral is the shade. I feel like if you went in with that puff that was provided, like you'd get a lot of product on your skin, like a lot of coverage packed on that way. So I'm just taking a brush because this powder's so soft if you haven't tried it. So I'm treating it the exact same way I would treat the Maybelline Superstay Hybrid Powder Foundation, and just barely coming in with it and feeling like it adds just a bit of coverage this way in this amount, but it doesn't seem like it perfected things even more. Did I say what primer I used today, by the way? I'm loving this one from the Girl Scouts Hard Candy Collection, the Milk and Cookies Primer. Smells lightly sweet. It's just very milky, light, thin, yet moisturizing. I really like that stuff. Next, I'm going in with some of this. Yes, the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Bronzing Serum. I feel like this is something you could use kind of like all over your face. You know how a lot of brands have the bronzing drops, but I actually kind of like using these on top of makeup. I think they're super easily blendable and give a really good look. Sometimes the dropper's a little fussy, but honestly, they're so thin and light. Thin and light. Is that the theme of the video? That's how the primer was. That's how the foundation kind of tends to feel. That's how the concealer was. Buffing it up into my hairline. Smells kind of tropical. It was very kind, the feedback from some of you for me using my phone camera. Like, you look so much more radiant. You look really good with this. But at the same time, I'm thinking, when I wake up and I show up on that thing, my big time camera, first thing in the morning with no makeup on, I just realistically don't look radiant. So the phone camera is not giving as accurate a depiction. But again, I think this lighting might be helping a little bit. So there's the bronzing serum all blended in, looking good. Oh my gosh. I didn't twist the cap in, and I just about pulled the whole thing up like that. Woo. Cat-like reflexes. And enter the cat. She says, I don't know what to do with myself. The setup is totally different. For blush, I'm pulling out L'Oreal True Match. I know they're not packaged just like this anymore, but this is what I have, and it's Tender Rose is the shade. It's got a little satin finish in there. Let's try. That's cute. It's soft, but I like it. Gosh, I haven't worn that in a while. I feel like I want a little more color than that. Like, it's okay, but how about just a dab of e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in, is it Keep It Vibrant? No, Always Vibrant. Just a little. I just had it sitting up here. I love this one. Just a little something. I'm wearing hot pink today. Maybe that's part of it. Like, I'm seeing the hot pink shirt in my peripheral vision and thinking the blush has to at least kind of go there. My poor little Real Techniques setting brush that I continue to use even though I took off the little bottom part. This is like a first edition Real Techniques brush and they had little black bottoms, but it got kind of tacky and sticky and weird. But now amongst my brushes, it's like being a short person like myself out in a crowd and you're like down there and you can't see up. L'Oreal Infallible, we're going to do the Icy Gold highlighter. It's funny because it looks very white, but yet it does have that kind of goldeny sheen. I'm getting a little on, and the lighting's hitting me at different ways than I'm used to, but I am hitting tops of the cheeks with that. Maybe you can see here. Feeling good about this complexion look so far. And then I'm using this Power Grip, because as I look at myself, I do feel kind of matte. Like I want to get a little bit of the glow back. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. Really like the way the mist comes out. I've just been reaching for this quite a bit lately. Not overwhelmingly dewy, but it just did a little something for the skin likeness of it all. Here we are right now. We're using Sephora Collection Brow, the skinny one, retractable brow pencil in medium brown. Do you guys know about a show called Big City Greens? It's a cartoon on, I guess, Disney Channel airs it. I recently found out about this. The kids were watching it and I'm thinking, this is actually really funny. Like, the characters are just hilarious, especially there's this little girl named Tilly and she's so cute. They're like these little country bumpkins, but they're living in the city. And the grandma is just completely unhinged and is just funny. I don't know. Anytime I'm watching it, I have some legit laugh out loud moments. Tilly reminds me of Biddy if she was walking around with a little southern accent. I do not like this angle. And this clip-on light that I have, you can't see it, but it's absolutely blinding me. Like out of the corner of my eye. Really bright light at all times. We're going to use CoverGirl Clean Fresh Brow Gel Wax. We do love this. Works well, kind of fluffs. I feel like I got a bare spot there. I blend the setup. Also, this is nearly an empty too. I'm like working off the very tip. This touch-up right here might send her straight into the empties bin. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so M takes on a new eye vibe. I'm using my Milani eyeshadow primer. Some things remain the same, just a little bit of that. And the shadow look is going to be extremely barely there. I mean, I'm seeing barely their shadow left and right, and this is more about like liner shape, I think. And I'll be wearing mascara and everything, but it's just gonna be a little bit different approach. So I'm gonna pull out my little e.l.f. matte palette here. I think it's called Mad for Matte. I'm gonna go to that third shade in and do a little bit of that in my crease, just for like the super light softly defined kind of eye look. Nothing big and dark and dramatic is happening with the shadow. Em tries to get hip with her eye look. I really like doing a full-on shadow look every day, and not doing a full-on shadow look makes me feel like I'm robbing myself of some of the joy of the process, because I like the process. I'm not really always looking for shortcuts, but anyway, got a little crease. Then I'm just going to take some of this cream. Hi, Bisky. And that light creamy shade's just going to go all over my lid. So pat, pat, pat. Oh, I love you, Angel. Yes. She's my sweetie pie that sleeps with me every night in the bed. She started, like, if I'm laying on my stomach, she just sleeps on my back. Here's what I'm going to try first with the liner. I'm doing a liquid liner. I'm going across the upper lash line. I'm keeping it super thin, super close, and not winging this out. So this is just strictly giving us a little definition here. I'm just hanging with the shape of my eye, and this is a brown. This is the Milani Stay Put tank. They say tank because of the way the product is stored inside the tube, like it won't dry out on you. Definitely hasn't become even a little bit dry seaming, and I've used this a lot. And then I'm taking a liner that I think is going to be creamy. This is the Sephora 12-Hour Colorful Liner in Tiramisu. This was recommended to me left and right, this specific shade. Oh, she wanted to get on the back part of my chair. She's sitting right behind me. But what I'm going to do here is kind of like line my lower lash line. I'm getting right in there with the lashes. And then I'm going to kind of come up with it and pull up from the bottom. And then I've literally seen people take a fingernail and use that to like smudge the line. I still feel like I need to fill in a little. You know what I mean? It looks like there was a jump off. But like we're getting that corner, feeling like we've got quite a bit applied, and then flicking it up a little. Then also lining the waterline. What do we think about this whole shape and what's going on? Like, look at the difference, eye to eye. Okay, we're gonna try it over here too. I feel like I'm not gonna really know how I feel until the mascara gets on, you know? But I'm staying in there amongst the lashes. I'm on the natural lower lash line. And then I'm gonna add quite a bit more product right here. And we're going in an upward sort of direction. And I'm connecting up to my upper liner just a bit. And then I'm kind of getting my finger in there and just directing it. That's just not quite as easy as it seems. Also, I don't have a big old nail, so maybe I'm lacking the appropriate tools. Cookie, help me. The inspiration here, if you know about Tate McRae, she does an eye look that kind of reminds me of this, and it's not all about lift at all. It's about like kind of just smudgy, murky smokiness, it seems. So I'm trying to get that eye thing going here. It's not supposed to be like major dark and dramatic. And then waterline, that kind of effortless seeming wing, just slightly drawn up there. I've basically executed what I've set out to do here. The natural eye, this little like, oh, I'm kind of winging it, kind of just like using my finger, but it's originating from the bottom instead of straight up off the top. And then I want to do a thick lash. Heck, I'm going to do some lash primer. I'm going to go with this Essence Volume Booster. I'm going to top it with Essence I Love Extreme, and I'm going to put Cali Ray on the lower lashes. Essence Volume Booster. So this is a white primer. I think it was Essence that put out the black primer, but that didn't really do much for me. Look at me, I'm crazy. We'll go on and do the other eye. I think the vibe of this eye look is like the I'm not trying too hard type of eye. Like there's not a lot of shadow. We just did that with the wing. Like, but I do try hard and I don't care if anybody knows it. So maybe this isn't my vibe, but we'll see. I've got to see the lashes all done to see if this is something that I think is actually flattering. Because again, it's winging, but it's not really that much about mega lift the way I would do it, you know? I would have shadow going in an upward direction. I would take the wing and instead of having it go whoop, I would just go but it never hurts to try new things, you know? Sometimes I just get in my comfort zone, like literally feel so comfortable doing things a certain way, and that's the way I like them. Sometimes I just need to be reminded it's okay to try something new. Like if it doesn't work out, it washes off. It doesn't really matter. You're only showing it to thousands of people on the internet. Another thing I'm not seeing with this type of look is like a false lash applied or anything. We're just trying to make our own lashes as good as possible. I do think the primer is maybe adding a little extra thickness to this mascara, but it gets really thick on its own, to be honest. I'm gonna work with this a little bit more. I'll be back. I don't know, guys. Here's what we're looking like. We got that low effort kind of wing, hardly any eyeshadow, but we do have mascara. What do you think? Is it doing anything for me? Maybe we need to see the lip first. And don't get me wrong, I am seeing how I'm getting some lift out of this. It's just kind of like coming from a different direction, and it's being more subtle than the liquid liner upper lash line kind of wing. Okay, then we're going to do like a little lip liner, lip oil type of combo here. I'm using the Color Riche from L'Oreal and Worth It. I've really been using these liners a lot. I have Worth It and Worth It Medium. The Worth It's more soft, but still kind of pinky, and Worth It Medium has more of a mauve, little bit of depth in it. They don't last incredibly well, but I like the way they go on, and I like the colors. Kind of the same way I feel about the e.l.f. Cream Glides. Like, I like you. You're not the most practical choice, but I like you still. Okay, then I'm going to go on top of that with my e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil. This is the Red Delicious shade. Now, this doesn't give a lot of color, but it adds just a little bit, and it adds a lot of shine. I like the texture. That's kind of what keeps these in the game for me. I like the texture. The eye look, I need to give credit where credit is due. I mean, I've seen it in more than a few places, but I feel like I'm kind of going off of McKenna Goddard's ideas on TikTok. She's like a college-age girl who's gone off and created a successful makeup artist business, plus like traveling around and putting on seminars for like groups of people and sororities and everything. She's become quite this makeup educator. Added a little more mascara. Questions, comments, concerns? I like the complexion. I think maybe you can see the glow a little bit better from up close. I kind of feel like the layering of the primer and that particular mascara, my lashes look a little chunky. That's not a problem for me personally, but if you get up real close, you're like, oh, that kind of look kind of chunky. I don't know. Maybe this will grow on me a little bit, this idea of the subtle wing and the barely there eyeshadow. Sort of an updated look, but yeah, I am one who does still really like, you know, the full shadow look and getting my lift in that manner. But this is certainly an option for me, I think. The more I see it, the more I take it in, I think I'm kind of liking it. Yeah, thank you guys for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again soon. I'm not sure how fast my new lighting setup's gonna get here, but I'm prepared to keep doing videos any way I need to. So thank you guys for your support. I will see you soon. I love you. Bye.